in Big Ten play is very important and going to be important later on when it comes to the Big Ten tournament.
And so we are underway here at 165 for Purdue. As I mentioned, 18th ranked Jacob Morrissey, redshirt senior, 17-14 on the year from Oconto Falls, Wisconsin. On the other side, you have Austin Hiles, a redshirt freshman, 11-13 from Brecksville, Ohio, as Hiles gets Morrissey down to the mat first as he tries to work that head and get around behind.
Yeah, as you said, a lot of Michigan State fans here tonight.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of green. Not a easy trip by any means, a 5 or 6 hour drive from East Lansing, but
as you see the 2 points there for Jacob Morrissey. Nice job getting the takedown after both were fighting at neutral from their knees for quite a while there. Austin Hiles had a really strong season last year for the Spartans, going 20-12 overall. Has had a little bit of a hiccup this year, moving up to 165 and sometimes even wrestling at 174. Being 11-13 on the year. Last year, he kind of flirted back and forth between 57 and 65 as weight classes.
Yeah,
you see Morrissey try to work him back down to the mat.
That 174 match that you talked about, he knocked off number 14 at the time ranked C.J. Bruckey, who we've seen here before, beating him 12-10 with a buzzer beater takedown to win that match. So getting a big win against a big opponent.
So you see Morrissey now get Hiles on his back, trying to keep his right foot in bounds to continue to get those tilt points. As they near the out-of-bounds line, he's got to try to get that shoulder out. Hunter, what do you think here? Is he in a good position?
I don't think either one of them is in a good position. I think Morrissey was trying to get his back points. He's going to flip back over and get something a little bit better. Hiles was doing a very good job of keeping his back arched there to keep his shoulder blades off the mat. But a good cradle that Morrissey had sank in. Morrissey trying to get back into the win column as this past weekend at Ohio State, got a good win against North Dakota State, but lost in a pin, under a minute pin, to Ohio State. So he's looking to do the same to Hiles here.
Yeah, it was a rough time out there in Columbus, Ohio, but a very talented Ohio State team that the Boilermakers faced off, and Morrissey got those 4 back points after the 2-point takedown to increase his lead to 6-0, and he continues to try to sink in those legs and break him back down to the mat again.
Morrissey using those legs to his advantage. His legs are so long. He's got that left leg hooked, and for a little while he had the ankle hooked of Hiles. So using those long legs to his advantage, he's going to try and roll him over.
Morrissey scored first in this match for his 12th time this season as he now tries to run him and get him over on his back, and the referee, Jamie Garcia, stops the match for what seemed to be possibly a dangerous situation. So they go back to center. Spartans on bottom. Morrissey still working on him and trying to keep him on the mat here. He's racked up quite a bit of riding time here in the first period.
I don't think the Purdue faithful here liked that potentially dangerous call that the referee called at the end to end that. I think it was I
heard a unanimous groan, yeah.
But keeping the wrestlers safe is his first goal. So if he thought it was a little bit dangerous, it's good to call it than to not call it.
Hiles gets to his feet, trying to break those hands and get his first point of the match, but Morrissey does a good job holding on there and not giving up that point at the end of the first period to keep his 6-0 lead.
Interesting choice by Morrissey to defer. Obviously, you like having the choice in the third round, excuse me. But he's done so well on top in that entire first period, getting those 4 near fall points. I think I would have liked for him to go on top and see if he couldn't put this out pretty quickly.
Morrissey already at 6 points in the match. That equals his average points scored in matches for the entire year. So as you mentioned, a very strong and a lot of points in the first period as he tries to maybe get some bonus points for the Boilermakers here, but he's got to get going here with some more back points. And I agree with you. I would have expected him to take top on that one.
Yeah, bonus points is definitely something that Coach Tony Ursuline preaches quite a bit, as I'm sure most coaches do want to go out and get those bonus points. So, yeah, I think it would have been better off of him starting on top in the second period.
Austin Hiles gets his first 2 points of the match with a 2-point takedown there early in the second period. Morrissey works his way back up to his feet and gets the 1-point escape, and Hiles immediately goes back to those long legs of Morrissey, trying to get him back down to the mat.
It's an interesting strategy, a little catch and release here for Hiles. Usually you don't see that, especially when you're down 6-0, to give up two you know, you're going 2-1 basically the entire time, but coach is still preaching that he needs to do a little catch and release here.
It's worked out so far as he got another 2 points on the takedown, and 1 point escape given to Morrissey, and a stalling warning was given to Hiles there for the way he was kind of letting him up, I think. So as Hunter mentioned, catch and release continues as Hiles tries to get Morrissey down to the mat. Morrissey does a good job avoiding it, and now he's going to try to go to a little bit of a hip toss offense of his own as he tries to get him rolled over there. Spartan bench asking for 2 points. Morrissey with a nice roll through. Hasn't been given the advantage yet, and there it is. So a nice roll through for Jacob Morrissey, and he gets the 2 points on the takedown.
Yeah, very nice roll through for him. I think it was a little late, honestly. I think Morrissey probably should have been given that a few seconds early, but ended up getting the points, and it turns out not to matter.
So the points continue to rack up here as Hiles gets on the board with 4 there in the second period. Morrissey adds 4 of his own to get a 10-4 lead going into the third period. He also has 2 minutes of riding time racked up already.
Yeah, I definitely think it's safe to say that he's looking at that major decision. It's definitely on his mind. But he's got to be careful here that he doesn't let this get away from him.
So with Morrissey starting on top here, he's going to try to tilt him onto his back, but in the process, he's got to be careful not to roll himself over on his back. Those are good near fall points by Morrissey. He's not going to get a pin out of that as you see him flipping back over, but he's going to go get his 4 near fall points. 2 4-point near falls already in the match for Morrissey as he increases his lead to 14-4. So as Hunter mentioned, he's definitely now has that major decision in sight. Hiles gets the 1 point escape as
one of the Michigan State players was jumping rope on the sidelines.
Did it?
And all of a sudden
exploded?
that jump rope exploded onto the mat, and all the pieces went everywhere. Yeah. So
I saw
Michigan State's coach turned around and looked like he was ready to fight somebody. Thought somebody threw something on the mat, and then found out that it was his own wrestler.
You know, at first look, I saw just a white piece, and it looked like one of those plugs you see come out of somebody's nose. So I figured it was a medical timeout, but yeah, you're exactly right.
Just an accident by the Michigan State wrestlers. Maybe it caught a chair or something and just exploded.
See something new every time, don't we? So Morrissey now back. Looks to be in control if he can get those hips behind the hips of Hiles and get him down to the mat. Hiles does a nice job overpowering him and getting Morrissey down for the 2 point takedown. He's not giving up here in the third period.
Hiles doing a very interesting thing going, you know, he's not spending any time on top, which is very interesting, going for the catch and release.
Yep.
You know, 40 seconds left and you're down 8 points. You know, you'd like the idea of going and takedown, but
it's kind of pin or nothing, isn't it?
I think you got to go for near fall points at the minimum.
So Hiles does release him, so Morrissey got his 1 point for an escape, and now Hiles is trying to get back on that offense and trying to continue to add 2 points on takedowns. He gets one there, takes a look at the clock, takes a look at the score, and decides I'm going to let him up one more time.
Now it should be known if he gets this takedown and stays on top of him, he's going to give up that major decision.
Another 2 point takedown for Hiles as he has Morrissey trying to roll him over on his back. So a nice job there by Austin Hiles to keep the major from happening for Jacob Morrissey, but still a win for the 18th ranked Boilermaker, Jacob Morrissey, and gets to Purdue off to a good, strong start.
Yeah, that's exactly what the coaches wanted Hiles to do. I mean, obviously he didn't want to take a loss there.
Yep.
That's obvious to say, but he did a great job of fighting back in that match and not giving up the bonus points. Ended up only giving 3 points to Purdue instead of a potential 4.